Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to use some JavaScript in order to check a basic form for some empty text strings. So it's going to be a really simple one here. So I've got a web page started off. I'll pluralize that. And let's see, at the body of my page it's got a heading, headline 1. I'm going to create a really quick form. I'll do form method equals post, action equals, and I'll just do a dummy action. And my form is going to be made up of simply 2 text boxes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create my first one, of course. I'll do a label, first name, input type equals text box, ID equals fname, name equals fname. There we go. And I'm going to take my label and move it down after that input box. Do a break tag, take the whole thing, paste, last name, L name is the ID, L name is the name, type equals submit, value equals send data. Excellent. Now we have ourselves a form. Oh, make it even more official. We'll do a set of field set tags here. So everything is nice and valid. Okay. So what do we got? We have a form. Within that form, there's a field set, and that field set has 2 text boxes, first name and last name, and it also has a submit button. So let's see how it looks. Back over on the browser. Let me just do a quick refresh here. There's my form. Text box, and when I submit, really hard to notice, it did submit. If you look up in my address bar, you'll see there's a little pound sign there, the little dummy submit. Okay, so that's pretty good. I would like, though, do a hard refresh. I would like, though, for an alert or warning to appear to the user if they try to submit this form and it's empty. So I'm going to head up to the head section of my page, and I'm going to create a script section. There we go. And let's see, I will start off, I'm going to create a function, and I'm just going to call this check for blank. There we go. Now the name of my function is check for blank, and it's going to have no arguments or no parameters. And let's see, I'm going to do an if statement. The basic structure of an if statement: if my logical test, and then a set of braces if that logical test is true. Okay, so if something is true, then I want something to happen. What do I want to have happen? I want an alert to pop up. Alerts aren't too professional, but that's what we're going to do here today. An alert, please enter your first name. There we go. So if something is true, I want the user to get an alert message that reads, please enter your first name. Now, when will this alert appear? If somebody has left the first name box empty. Okay? So, my first name box, by the way, is uniquely identified as fname. So my statement is going to look like this, my logical test here. Document.get element by ID, parentheses, single quote, fname, single quote, closing parentheses. The fname field on my document, okay, right after these parentheses, dot value. The value of the element with fname in my document. Well, what about that value? If that value is equal to an empty set of quotes. So, on my document, there's an element with ID fname. That element has a value, and if that value is blank, empty, then I want an alert to appear. Make sense? Okay. Now, this is a function, which means the function will get run or triggered when somebody does something, okay? I want this function to get triggered when somebody tries to submit the form, okay? So I'm going to use an event handler called onSubmit. Now, by the way, something else that I need to do too, in addition to providing an alert, I need to prevent the form from running, from trying to go to its action. So I'm going to add one more statement down here after my alert. I'm going to put in return false. Okay? So not only do I want the alert to appear, but I want the form to not submit. So I want it to get paused. I want to break that action from happening. Now that I've got that part taken care of, I want to trigger this function. Now this function is going to occur when somebody tries to submit the form. So I'm going to head down to my form, to the opening form tag, and I'm going to type in the event handler on submit equals. And if I just do check for blank, that's a normal way of calling a function. My function is called check for blank, and on submit I want to trigger the check for blank. But because I'm going to potentially want a return, using the return statement here, because I'm going to be using the return statement, I'm going to change this to return check for blank. Okay, so when somebody submits this form, the check for blank function is going to get called, and the value of my first name box is going to be checked, and if it's blank, then this alert is going to pop up. So I'm going to save this, jump back over to my browser. There it is. Let me just do a refresh, and I'll click Send Data. Okay, please enter your first name, click OK, and the form is stopped. Notice I'm not getting a little pound sign up here, so the form is getting stopped at this point. Let me do one more thing here just to make it kind of stand out a little bit to us. I'll jump back over to my editor. In addition to giving me the alert, I'm going to document get element by ID fname dot style dot border color equal to I'll just do red. Okay, so I'm going to save that, jump back over to my browser, refresh, send data, get the error. Oh, oops, and I must have forgotten something. Let me just jump back over here. For text here, let me put this in quotes. And everything else is looking pretty good. Okay, let's try this one more time. Let me do a save. Back over to my browser. All right, refresh there. Send data. Okay, there we go. Red border and everything is stopped. All right, so that's checking for a blank. So let me just kind of recap this here. So my function check for blank looks at the value of the first name field. If that first name field is nothing, then it's going to give me an alert, and it's also going to color the border of that text box, fname, red, and it's going to do three things. The third thing, it's going to stop the form from going. When does all this stuff occur? It occurs when somebody tries to submit that particular form.